Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of JLS Gaming, the Cypha. In this episode, we have a very special guest. We got Michael from Back Into Cards. We're going to have some great discussions around Michael Jordan, Last Dance, card collecting, video game collecting, and just retro games in general to start it off. But we'll get into kind of the collectability of both video games, cards, and how now they're getting back into the limelight with all these great shows and documentary series like The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, which the finale, the last two episodes are tonight. If you haven't watched it, try to binge watch it and definitely, watch it this evening with the finale. So first thing, Mike, really going to get into, some of the retro games and everything like that. Start that off. I'll jump in. For the past week, I really have been playing a little bit of Castlevania, playing a little bit with my TurboGrafx 16 Mini. Plug, I got a video coming out, JLS Gaming, an unboxing and a review on it this evening or tomorrow. Be on the lookout for it. And, we'll really get into in-depth on it, show everybody around it. It comes out in the United States. The release date is actually this week, I believe the 22nd, right? So stay tuned for that. We'll have some links and where you can pre-order that. Also got a couple of good contents around the Final Fantasy VII remake. So what I've been playing after beating the remake, the past week is really getting back into Final Fantasy VII. It's probably my favorite game of all time, dude. And what I'm doing now is just playing through it, kind of cross-referencing notes into the remake, right? Because the remake really is only about the first 10 to 15%, right? So going off of that and then turning around and just really playing that. So again, that game is 50, 60, 70 hours if you want to try to be, a completionist and stuff like that. So playing that and getting a little bit into the TurboGrafx 16 Mini and the nostalgia around that. Mike, any retro games you've been playing, you've been into?
So basically, my kids are into all the current, trendy things, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, Fortnite, NBA 2K20. So it's really fun playing with them and really gaming with them. And, brings you back nostalgically back to when we used to kind of game, right? We didn't have headphones. If you had to play with somebody, they had to literally be sitting next to you. And you better have had two controllers or more to be able to do that. So it is a lot of fun. I do have one of those NES gaming systems that comes obviously preloaded with all the games. I'm a sports guy, right? So
One of these truckers,
one of those. So I'm more into like Tecmo Bowl, but I do like some of the native stuff like Excitebike. Some of the real first games that came out when that Nintendo launched as a legitimate, home-based system. Double Dribble, remember Double Dribble? It was a big basketball game, right? I loved playing that. And so I've always been more of the sports type type of gaming, playing with my friends growing up and stuff, or, now we compete online. I've done some of the things. I've got like the roots of like Pac-Man, right? I got my Pac-Man shirt on.
Nice.
Right? So, I just remember like growing up, and that's what really got me back into sports cards. It's just that nostalgic feel of what it was like to go to the store and buy, sports cards. I remember being 10 years old, and I'm at the store. This is 1983, and I'm looking at a 1970 Thurman Munson, who was a catcher for the Yankees, right? Backstory, catcher for the Yankees. The card was $20. It was his rookie card, and I thought to myself, like, oh my god, like $20 for a sports card is an incredible amount of money. I don't think I want to shell out that kind of money. Kind of wish I did, because that card is probably several $100s right now. But that's the one story. And now that I'm in my 40s, with a full-time job and everything and a family, I can afford to make those kind of investments now with the card. So we talked about Michael Jordan. I've got a graded Michael Jordan 1993 card here, right? It's a lot of fun. So the cards now, they get graded, they get cased by the third party. In this case, it's PSA, which is the market leader of sports cards grading. All the way through, I've got a Scottie Pippen 1989. So his card really took a surge because of The Last Dance, right? And then even like future Hall of Famer Tim Duncan 1997 rookie, right? This is a 10, and this card is about $200 or $300 right now, and it's great having them in the case and putting them in a protective bag. You can handle them, not worry about them falling, getting dented. This is similar to how you protect your phone, right?
Yeah. About how much is it per card to get it graded? Between sending it in, getting it back, about how much is it?
So getting them graded cost about $10 a card.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see a value in that. In other words, if you take a $10, typically you take a $10 rookie card, you get it graded. It's probably going to be anywhere from $75 to $120, depending on how many were made, the demand, the hype curve of it all, right? So, people will go out there and talk about buying these raw cards. So here's 2 cards that I'm going to send for grading, right? Zion Williamson, right? Probably the hottest player. And unfortunately, these are 2 of his rookie cards. The one I don't have is the most expensive, the Prism, right? So this is Hoops and this is Donruss. Very good cards. They probably sit about $10 to $20 a piece. But if I send them in and get graded, you're looking at a $200 card for that $10. But it's got to be a 10, right? So you can see here, this is a 10, but this is a 9, right?
Mm.
So, cards are so cool now. A lot of them have these foil refractors. So look at how beautiful this card is with the orange outline matching Kyrie Irving's, orange Cavs jersey, right?
Yeah.
So when I bought this one, I bought it for that visual appeal of the orange on orange. Anytime you could match a player's jersey with a card outline like that, the different colors, or if they're numbered. So in this case, double bonus. This card is only, I don't know if I can see it because I'm blocking my screen. It's out of 49. There's only 49 of these made in the world, and I have one of the 10s, right? So there's some value in that too. It's the scarcity factor. One of the things that crushed sports cards in the 1980s and 1990s were how many cards were printed. So one thing they do now is they do have these different variations as well as they number them. And that's why the grading is important too. So all these factors play in to the value of the cards now. So the landscape has totally changed, right? From the 1980s. I mean, my parents, I don't know if any of your parents or your aunts or uncles ever collected cards, they would throw them against the wall, and closest to the wall won the stack, right? They put them in their bicycle spokes. Our generation took a little better care of them. We put them in boxes, we put them in sleeves. Now cards are getting graded. So you can see how it's evolved over 50 years, right? So it's really interesting. I mean, the cards are made with such quality, the reflection of them all. And I mean, boxes of cards are expensive. When I would buy cards, it was $10 a box and you got 36 packs, right? So here, for example, is Panini Prism draft picks, right? So Joe Burrow and Tao are the 2 hottest cards out of here, the 2 rookie quarterbacks, draft first and 5th overall. So these boxes go for $34 a piece retail, right? So of course, can't find them. Now they're going for close to $60, $70 a box on a secondary market on eBay and stuff. So the resale value of just the hype and the demand is crushing supply right now, especially due to COVID with all the shipping restrictions and things that the stores don't want to stock the non-essentials. It's caused prices to go up a little bit for the sealed boxes and stuff. So it's really interesting. And I saw too that they have you can seal and grade video games. So let's talk about that later. I think that's very interesting too. I'm still not quite sure why you'd seal a video game. Like you want to play the game, but I guess because there's only so many made and it's so old, you want to collect it, preserve it, and there's some value in that as well. Yeah.
Let me show you. Let's tie it into the Last Dance and the Jordan thing, and I want to come back to you too on how the Last Dance has affected Jordan cards, Jordan pricing and stuff. So here, let's take a look at some gameplay of Jordan versus Bird. Came out in 1988 by Electronic Arts.
This is great.
So this brings back the nostalgia factor, right? And what ends up, what ends up happening with this one, right? You see this game, these graphics. So
Draining the 3.
Right? And then Jordan's missing the 3s. Back then he wasn't, but he just 360 tomahawked on Bird, right? So you look at that, you're like, oh man, he steals it, and then another 360 on Bird. So this is great, great gameplay around this game. And at the time, this was phenomenal. I remember playing this with my friends growing up, and just
all day
going to town, right? It's got the 3-point shootout, got the dunk contest, and then the one-on-one between them, right? So real good game back then, real fun, right? And two of the biggest stars at the time, right? Jordan and Bird, which both of them, get a lot of FaceTime on Last Dance, right? Really more towards the earlier episodes, since the Last Dance is talking about the last championship, but as they flash back. Now one of the things, stopping that, one of the things that I wanted to discuss, what you said was, right, the grading system, right? So when you talk about video games being video games being graded, right? We sit there and we have Jordan versus Bird, which we were just looking at, right? And I wanted to get your kind of take on this, right? So when you say Jordan versus Bird, a loose price, which is just finding the game in a faction, it's going for $556 right now. Complete 22.22. New price $105. Graded is $535, right? Yeah. And then when you look at this, which this is pricecharting.com, shout out to pricecharting.com, and you see the market and the pricing, and they really track these, right? You can see the spike right here due to the Last Dance. So
can you could have got it.
Let me try to zoom in.
Can you do 6 months, I guess? You could do 6 months in the top left of the top left of the chart. 6 months. There you go.
Oh, beautiful.
There you go. Yeah.
So you see $49.99, then now $105.68, right, for a new one. And again, graded is $430 more, right? So I mean, if you got a new one and you can send it in for $10-15 to get graded, I mean, you're talking about definitely an increase in value. But this just shows you from a video game perspective, Mike, on how the Last Dance has affected, right? It's sort of very similar to at the beginning of the year, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. When Kobe Bryant passed away, you had a real run and people digging in their shoe boxes. And I'm sure if you could chime in too on the card prices, let's say for Kobe, right? This ended up skyrocketing prices on the N64 courtside with Kobe Bryant games as well, right? So real telling. So Mike, what's your thoughts around how this show, any future shows, and for anybody that's kind of on the fence and like me, right? After speaking with you, and that's why I wanted you on the show, I'm like, man, I got to dig up these cards. I got to go back to my mom's house in Paterson, New Jersey, and find my comic books, my comic cards, my basketball cards, because I know for a fact I got a Chris Webber. I think I got 2 Chris Webbers. I think I got a Chris Webber and a Shaq rookie card from way back then that I just put it away as soon as I found it in a pack, put it away in a nice protector. That I would love to see how much it's worth now, and how much if I send it out to be graded and it comes back a 9 or a 10, would it be worth? So anyway, Mike, take it away, man.
Yeah, so absolutely. So I just got back into cards late February, early March, right? And so I'm a social media guy, right? That's the pulse of anything that's going on in the world real time. So I got on social media. I got on TikTok, right? Because TikTok, there's so many people out there, and everyone's got a forum, right? There's a lot of YouTube consumers, but a lot less YouTube producers. So a lot more TikTok producers, just people up there, spitting for 15, 30 seconds at a time. So TikTok's interesting is the more you watch certain types of videos, it starts gearing more of that niche to you. So the more side hustle videos I watch, I see more side hustlers. The more sports cards ones I watch, I see more sports cards ones, right? So that could be a whole separate show, the whole TikTok mysterious patent pending algorithm, right? So I started just watching and listening to people. I talked about how this Last Dance was supposed to come out over the summer, and they moved it up because of COVID to target that audience. So people started moving, and they knew there'd be an impact on the cards, right? How big? One quick story is I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, I'm going to start investing in some of these cards, and some I'm going to keep and some I'm going to flip. So I was looking at Scottie Pippen 1988 Flair rookies on eBay. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the cards, and there's 10s, there's 8s, there's 9s. So I said, all right, it's a card. It's 20 some years old. The 10s are going to be ginormous. I'm going to look at the 9s and the 8s. So look at the 8s. They're going for about $75 a piece. The 9s were about 130, 140. So I was like, all right, maybe I'll do a little bit of each, couple 8s, couple 9s. And I'm literally going through my eBay search. I'm like, every time I find one that was interesting or priced right, new tab, going over. I go back to the beginning. Okay, these are the ones I'm going to buy. Can't buy it, sold. Can't buy it, sold. Like I missed a window by minutes of buying these cards for $80. Few weeks later, they're $300 cards, right? And that's just Scottie Pippen. So Michael Jordan brought all of his teammates. Anyone featured Steve Kerr, Phil Jackson rookie. I bought a Phil Jackson 1989 coaching rookie card, right? So it looks like this Scottie Pippen that I have over here. And I bought it for $30. So it looks like this. It's the 1989 Hoops. It's a Phil Jackson card. $30 graded at 10. Sold it for $110 3 weeks later. It's the coach. Wow. It's not even a player, right? Wow. Craziness. So yeah, I just went out and bought a bunch of these cards, maybe $10, $15 a piece. The way I look at it is if the card itself is $4 or $5 and I could buy it graded for 15 to 20, it saves me the risk of getting a card that won't get a 10 or a 9. I'm locked in with the same price based on the value of the card, right? So it's really easy. If you put in the research on eBay, you go to completed listings. It's very easy to find the card that, fits your budget, fits your needs. Some of the cards that are harder to find. So now I'm getting into soccer cards, right? Soccer cards are the new upcoming thing because no one's really in them. Everyone likes basketball and baseball. It's sexy, right? Soccer, people don't know enough about it. So now, I've been following soccer for a long time because my kids play it. It's the highest density of youth sports in the U.S. right now, but yet the adults don't know anything about it. I picked up Alex Morgan rookies, Carly Lloyd cards, Mia Hamm, right, from 2000, like the 2000s Women's World Cup. So she was an innovator of Women's World Championship play long before Megan Rapinoe and Julie Ertz, right? So I picked up some of her rookie cards. Landon Donovan, who was captain of the U.S. men's team for so long, right? A lot of controversy in 2014 when he was cut from the team, actually.
Yep.
So I picked up some of them.
How about international? Like, is there an international market in soccer cards for the international players?
There is. It's a worldwide market. You're absolutely right. So the Messis, the Ronaldos, those are blue chip cards. Those things have skyrocketed, right? So, in essence, what I'm saying is there's been an influx of people getting into the sports card market, whether as a side hustle, a hobby, and an investment perspective. Everyone's got a different quote unquote agenda, but they're all part of this ecosystem now. So, but you're seeing this Jordan documentary raise awareness around players. So what's happening, and follow me here, Jordan's the greatest of all time, one of the greatest of all time. His cards elevate. What are some other names that come to mind in terms of great basketball players? You mentioned one earlier.
Kobe, Kareem, Magic.
Right. But who's
LeBron,
more recent?
LeBron. Probably most recent.
So you're seeing LeBron cards skyrocket, right? Because it's almost like the market. So when, Apple does well, you see Amazon and other techs, going up as well, right? So what's happening, Jordan cards have leapfrogged everything. So now you're getting pulled in with LeBron, Zion as the next generation. So Zion, Ja, Trae Young, RJ Barrett are all coming in, Kobe White as these new next generation as the LeBrons and Kyrie and Curry are starting to wind down their career, right? So you're seeing all that. So it's a lot of momentum. So you're seeing all the legacy ones. So another card that jumped is Dr. J, Julius Erving's rookie cards have jumped. So he's setting the bar of where the greatest players of each generation go, and all the cards are just moving up there. So basketball are becoming very scarce. They're becoming very opportunistic if your timing is right. You've been buying and holding, right? So now that also brings into who are the other greatest of all time players in each sport, right? So football, like Tom Brady. Tom Brady's cards have skyrocketed, not only because of his free agency move that he's staying relevant in the news and an NFL ambassador, right? He's a great player. He's won a lot of championships. So that's moved a lot of Tom Brady's cards forward, right? Troy Aikman and Barry Sanders rookies are now making a move. I just picked up 2 or 3 of each of those over the last couple of days, right? So I'm not getting into hockey so much. Like I said, Messier and Ronaldo are moving soccer, right? baseball, right? So now talk about documentaries. There's another documentary coming out in a few weeks or a few months. I don't know if they set the date yet, for Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, right? So the whole steroid era. And what's gonna be really interesting is these are the junk wax cards. So everybody's got to go deep into their mother's, basement of where they kept their cards and digging up all these cards, right? But those cards have gone up almost 300% because they were fairly low.
Wow.
They've gone up like 300% just on the hype of this documentary coming out over the next few months. So, that's the two things that this documentary has really done is it's raised the bar, but then it's gone up and it's gone horizontal. Right.
Well,
so
let me ask you this question, Mike, right? So when you say that, so the documentary and accomplishments, right? So has that brought up prices on posthumously on, let's say, Kobe Bryant cards? And also, he was supposed to be inducted this summer, but that's going to happen next summer, right?
Right.
So is it safe to kind of take that assumption that, okay, next summer when he's inducted, it'll be some kind of corresponding increase in the value of the card?
I'm sure it will.
And how about with LeBron James? Yeah, how about with LeBron James when he probably inevitably, right? Although I used to say that for Alex Rodriguez that he'd break the all-time home run record, right? That Barry Bonds, has, right? I thought A-Rod was on a great pace for it. But let's say LeBron, when he breaks kind of that scoring record, or after him, KD, is there a corresponding bump because of accomplishments like that? And can you get into some of that?
So I think they are, but like you're saying, the whole Hall of Fame threshold, right, plays a big factor into it. So that's why I was buying the Tim Duncans. Yeah, he's going to Hall of Fame. Another one, I don't have him with me, but Dirk Nowitzki, the Mavericks, is another future Hall of Famer, right? So really, you want to be in the pipeline of who's the next 3 or 4 sets of prospects for the Hall of Fame, right? And start investing those cards now.
Now, let me ask you this, Mike, and this is great for another show I really want to get into with respects to speculation and kind of manipulation of the market, right? Who's the buyer right now for these, for these systems? I mean, for these cards, right? Who's the buyer right now for these cards? And what is it that they're doing? Are they hobbyists? Are they just the nostalgia factor? Or is it that they're sitting there saying, let me buy low and sell high in a year or 2 or 5?
Well, it's kind of like the stock market, right? When the stock market hits really high, there's still buyers out there, right? So I think that's still happening, is you're getting people into the hobby. You're getting parents doing things. I do a lot. I'm getting my son back into it, and we're opening up, some of the lower end stuff, the Topps opening day and the Topps Series 1 retail boxes that don't come with as many inserts either. Just to get him used to the cards and figuring them out, right? And he sees them as a variation of Pokemon cards as well, right? So that's what he was first exposed to. But that's interesting too, is how they sell. So you talk about, is there collectors and there's investors, right? So I still think there's a little bit of everybody getting into it because there's so many people that are new to it. Everybody wants to say they're a sports card investor. I was talking to my friends Bailey and Joe at Bailey Joe Cards, and we were saying how I'm really more of I'm an investor, but I've got a lot of collector in me, right? So like I'm picking up Pete Alonso's, I'm picking up a lot of Daniel Jones, Barclay, Giants and Mets. I'm picking them up because those are my teams. So I'm building personal collections where I'm buying Pete Alonso cards for $1.50 because I'm not looking to flip them. I'm looking to hold them for my personal collection. So if there are variant cards that are really cool, I'll go after them and spend $3 or $4 on them as a collector. But I'm not collecting like the Zion Williamson, every option of his cards. They're just too expensive, and it's not. If it was one of my favorite players, very possible that I would. I've got some of the basics just through opening up packs and opening up boxes. So I think everybody's out there, and like I said, the people selling them, there's side hustlers, right? Just looking to flip things, which I do a part of. There's collectors who are looking to just buy and build a collection, maybe put them up in their man cave with nice light on them, right?
Yeah.
And then there's going to be investors, right? So there are people who will look at the, Tim Duncans and buy 30 of these. And then within a year of him going to Hall of Fame, sell them all, right? And then take that money and reinvest in something else, buying and trading them just like stocks. Who's hot, who's not, who's trending up, who's undervalued. It's the same terminology as the stock market that people are using with cards. One more thing I did want to show you. So I talked about buying cards at Walmart and buying them from, so you can buy this at Target. I think it was $40, right? So it comes with 112 cards, and it's got a couple inserts. So you can see it says Pink Firework Parallels Retro 1986 Signature Cards, right? So these come with certain inserts in them, right? Then you could buy what's called a hobby box, right? So distributors and card shops, and when you go to card shows in the mall now, when the malls reopen, they sell these. So these are like $80, right? They have about the same amount of cards, but they have autograph cards, they have memorabilia, patch jersey cards in them. So when you talk about are you a collector or are you an investor, right? If I'm buying cards with my son, I'm buying retail. I'm buying the ones that they sell at Walmart and they sell at Target, right?
Yeah.
Dollar Store has Donruss packs. And the dollar store, I don't have them down here. The dollar store has their Donruss packs have yellow inserts in them. That's the only place you can get the yellow inserts. Right. So it's blown up on TikTok. People are just opening up Donruss packs from the dollar store. There's card production and distribution for the kind of person that you are in terms of, are you an investor or are you a collector? So it's at all different angles of, how, what you want out of it. Right.
Yeah. Man, that's great information, Mike. Hey, man. Yeah. Hey, we're coming to the end. I want to give you an opportunity to definitely tell people where they could find you, what social channels. I know you guys are huge on TikTok, where they could find you and everything like that. Any closing thoughts, and we're definitely got to have you on a future show to talk more about this, and give an update on the cards and talk more about, that market, because I really think a lot of the fans out there want to know, and a lot of the collectors want to know, because they may collect video games, but like myself, they collect comic book cards, they collect baseball, basketball cards, and when they understand how these cards have gone up, like you said, people I gotta scramble and get back to Patterson and look through my boxes and see what's good out there, right? And what I can get graded and stuff like that. So, go ahead, Mike, tell everybody where they can find you.
Sure. So first off, I just want to say thank you for having me on. I really appreciate you taking the time and setting all this up. It's been a lot of fun, kind of planning and prepping, for this. But yeah, so I got back into cards, like I said, in February. So I really wanted to kind of brand the journey, right? So I'm not some high-end, YouTube producer. We do have a YouTube channel, Back into Cards, right? You're going to see me open up cards and talking about cards and having fun, right? I'm not here to woo anyone with my video transitions and stuff. It's a bit raw, but it's very real, right? So I'm big on honesty and transparency with all this, right? I'm not, when I say side hustle, even that, I'll tell you, you can get the NBA Mosaic blaster boxes at Target for $20, but you can't find them. The secondary market prices it at $65. So if I get them, I'm going to sell them for $65, right? I'm not trying to scam anyone. This is the fair market.
No, that's capitalism. Yeah.
Yeah. And if I want to spend to charge you $200 a piece, well, you're probably not going to buy them. But 65 I sold 5 of them yesterday in about 3 hours. Yeah. And I put a TikTok up about it, right? So if you go on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, Back into Cards is the handle, one word, @ Back into Cards. There's a Facebook page, Back into Cards. I believe it's 3 words on the Facebook page with proper capitalization and whatnot. So I'm very active on all the platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm very active on the Facebook page. We'll just be advocating if I find articles. There was an article, I want to say Sports Illustrated had an article about the rise of card collecting, right? So, and then I'm going to give a little bit of homework to people watching this, is go into eBay and type graded video games and see what comes up, or graded Mario Brothers and see what comes up. That's the best way. You want to talk about what is the current value or demand, sales velocity, population. of anything, go to eBay completed listings, right? It'll tell you how many are available, what's the asking price, right? There you go. So, these are all over the place, right? Because you're going to see all these different variations. You can see the first two boxes even look a little different. One's graded 8.5, one's graded 5.5, right? So now these are listings, right? So scroll down a little bit, keep going. And on the left-hand side, you're going to see completed sales. Keep going. Right there. Yep, completed sales. Now watch. What's green sold, what's red didn't sell. Right? So now go up top. Sorry, go up to the top. Go to the sort, and it's kind of the top right there under the nope. Scroll up to where you go to search.
Yep.
Under the search on the left, one more over. Is it ended recently? I can't see your screen that well. Nope, up. Right.
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
it's ended recently. Yep.
Okay, so it's sorted by most recent sales. So you can see the dates that they sold and what they sold for. So here you can look for trends. You can look for certain years, certain, features. So you can, the more words you put in the key search, the more narrow it'll be.
Wow, that's amazing for a Super Mario 2, 750. Wow. That's
Granted, I know nothing about grading video games, right? But there's a
huge
some
good homework for all of us, and for definitely a
huge
future
story
show.
to tell here.
Anybody out there that's an expert on this, right? Definitely, come on the show and let's have a roundtable and discuss this. I think the audience definitely would like to get into that.
My question here is, what are the factors that drive costs there? So how does Super Mario Brothers go from $800 to $1,200? Is it because new games come out? Is it because maybe they stop making them? Maybe they re-release them and they push a hype curve, right? Think about what they've done with some of the video game characters, like there's all like the Mario characters as well, like Yoshi and Princess Peach and Bowser, right? And you look at Donkey Kong and you look at Sonic the Hedgehog is who I was trying to think of. Sonic the Hedgehog, right? So, when they commercialized him more, and you see a lot of the retro t-shirts now. So you see a lot of the Nintendo players on t-shirts. So it's raising awareness and building that brand, right, to that next generation. It's that would be what I would want to know about. What's driving the market here, right? So, okay, Super Mario Brothers is $800, graded in 8, whatever. What moves that market? Right? Is it demand? Is it scarcity? Is it, media hype like The Last Dance? When's the Mario Brothers documentary coming out?
Well, there's a movie coming out. There's also, there's
there you go.
Nintendo World coming to Universal probably 2-3 years down the line. So, and like you said, it's just a new generation, right? My daughter turns 6 next month, and what she asked for her birthday is a Wii U, right? Because she loves playing her brother's Wii U and playing some of the older games on there. So it's fascinating, right? A system that was dead, that is was actually a failure, considered a failure by most. My daughter, before my daughter was born, now she wants to play it because she wants to play a bunch of the cool games on there. So
we have a Wii U, or had. I don't think I have it anymore. Rest in peace, right?
But
it was a complete failure. But I think it tried to do what the Switch is doing. It just was too early. It wasn't quite ready yet. The technology wasn't quite there. Maybe the infrastructure, I don't know, the interest. But when I look at the Switch, I'm like, that's what the Wii U tried to do.
Yeah.
So I talk about the mindset of Nintendo's pipeline, like where they see things going and how they hit it, right? I think about what Microsoft did for the personal computer in the 80s and brought computers in the late 80s and brought work IBM PC clones into the home. And then what Apple did by bringing mobile devices to everyone. And now, the iPhone had a few apps, right? Now it's a business tool. It's I can do e-commerce on my phone.
Definitely.
I can publish YouTube content all day long. Just from my phone. I can do everything from my phone. It's absolutely amazing what Apple and Android, and that competition definitely grew the innovation. There's no doubt what they
Oh,
did for the
definitely.
industry and what they've done for us. And, you know, my wife and I said, and I don't know how it is at your house or how our viewers are in their house. I couldn't imagine dealing with this world pandemic without the availability of communication and information, sometimes too much, but it's still there. You know, if this happened in the 80s, how would I know what to do? How would I know what the state of the, you know, closures and the quarantining is going, right? It's
Yeah.
amazing what we have available to us, and we take it for granted. It's truly surreal.
Yeah. And Michael, definitely want to thank you. You know, I want to thank everyone for watching this live, and for those that are going to watch the replay, right? It'll be on the YouTube channel. You know, again, it's at Back Into Cards where you can find Michael. For the channel, thanks everybody for watching. Definitely, we got some content coming out. We're a little over 1,000 subscribers. We have another giveaway when we reach 10,000 subscribers. Still figuring out what to give away. Leave a comment, whatever, what we should do, and stay tuned for more content. So, Mike, want to thank you again for being on the show. And
Thanks so much, Will.
everyone, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.